Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Bart. And I want to show you guys my build because apparently people want to see that. So here you go. Azure Lane, Donkey with Andrew Cunningham, Paolo de Revel. We've got Flammable Cannoneer, we've got Frontal Fire, we've got Megalomania, we've got Master Mechanic, we've got Five Fire with Fire. We've got Aiming Systems Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 2, Concealment System Mod, and we have our Epic Main Battery Mod 3. So for every 30,000 damage, we get a little bit more reload, a little faster reload. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you do this? So I'm going to repeat it again. Okay, when you want to upgrade a module, like this one, you simply press X on Xbox. I guess it would probably be square for PlayStation folks. As long as you have at least 500 steel, you can upgrade from a standard module to an epic module. Then it takes an additional 2,000 to upgrade from an epic to a legendary. I don't necessarily recommend going legendary module. It's not really worth it. It's a lot of steel for not a lot of get back. So personally, the epic modules are fine with me. Okay? So now that you guys have seen that, let's get into the gameplay, shall we? Alrighty, so we're going to be on Haven in the Bart, and we're going to push around to the left flank. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is I spawn outside the rock. What does that tell you? Well, it tells me, as somebody who's been experienced with the game, that we're top tier. Even without ever looking at the team, it just shows that we're top tier. Because if you're going up against tier 8s or even tier 7s, I think, usually you end up spawning inside the island, right? And for whatever reason, legendary tier always spawns on the inside of the island. I have no idea why. It's just a stupid thing that Wargaming hasn't fixed yet. And it's absurd and needs to be addressed, but for whatever reason, it's not their priority to fix things that actually matter with the game. Anyway, and the funny thing is they've admitted that there's a problem with this map, and yet they haven't fixed it on all versions of the map. They've only fixed it on like a couple of tiers. It's stupid. I don't know. I digress. We're going to be in the Bart. We're going to try to push up the left flank. Now, one of the things you're going to notice early is I'm going to waste a reload booster. I do this a lot. I'm not proud of it. I'm really not. But I do this a lot. It's usually early in the match, and I get excited. I see a broadside. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mash this man. Hit the button, or shoot the shot. Hit the button. Get ready to shoot another shot. But what happens is almost inevitably every single time I don't get to see the person, and I just wasted a reload booster for nothing. And that is sadness. Nobody likes to waste a reload booster. But anyway, as we go in, we're going to go ahead and take a shot at this Colorado. Now, I want you to pay attention to my reload, but also pay attention to somebody who gets spotted broadside to me in a Veneto. Man is full broadside, begging for it. Why would he light up there? Most likely took a shot at us, right? So we're not going to take the chance. We go ahead and angle towards him. You can see his guns are swinging around. We're going to go ahead and take that shot. We're going to light up. I'm going to hit the booster button, and of course, he goes dark. As unfortunate as that is. He was actually spotted by the destroyer on the other side of the map, our friendly destroyer. So we just wasted our booster, did no damage to the man, just sadness all around. It just absolute sadness. Now, I want you to pay attention to what's going on this flank. Our team is going to do what I consider kind of a bait and switch. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that term or not. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go out, we're going to hit a couple of people, we're going to turn to kite, mask our return, and come back in. That's the plan. Whether we intended to do it that way or not. But that's what I was planning to do here, because I don't like to just show up and have an entire team shooting me for nothing. Right? We get a good look out here, and you're not going to get better accuracy than that out of the Bart. That is fantastic. Not the best aim shot in the world, but we still did more damage than we didn't. You know what I mean? More of those shells hit and did damage than didn't do damage. So we'll take it. But notice that there was a Dakir here, right? So last thing I want to do is charge into that. We know he's got torps. So what we do is we set up in a kiting position. We can still shoot the front guns in a kiting position. We do have to give a little bit too much broadside, which is not ideal. But these guys really haven't given us a reason to fear them at this point. Great salvo again. I don't know what that Siegfried did wrong. I don't know who he pissed off. But for whatever reason, when I'm shooting at him, I get really good grouping. I don't know why. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to kite around. Why? Because there's a smoke screen there shooting HE at me. And I'm in a French battleship, and they tend to really dislike HE. Now, good news is, with the build that I have, I've got extra... I've got Master Mechanic, so I get extra heals, which is nice. But notice that I'm also using my engine boost. And I'm going to try to avoid running into my cruiser here, but I'm also trying to rotate my guns around. And you can see the Dakir comes around the corner, and these turrets, I mean, good lord, dude. I've seen British turrets move faster than this. It's ridiculous. That's the one downside of this build that will make you sad, is these turrets take a century to turn around. Like, they take so long to turn around, your mom's birthday is coming up again, all right? That's how long it takes. But we get a shot out at the Dakir anyway, and we do actually land 4 out of 8 shells, so we'll take it. But notice that we're now turning back towards the enemy, and you'll notice that Benham manages to kill somebody on the other flank. One of our DDs is down, the other one is over here. I'm keeping an eye on the fact that our destroyer is next to their destroyer on this flank. Now you can see the Siegfried is thinking about taking off, and that's fine. I don't need to get myself spotted. What I am going to do is I'm going to pay attention to the fact their Jervis gets spotted, our Jervis is spotted, and I want to help our Jervis out. So notice that I immediately hit the button. I'm fully loaded, so I get that. I proc the perk that allows you to switch immediately, or almost instantly, to the other ammo type. As long as your main guns are fully loaded in this build, you can swap between HE and AP at your convenience, essentially. And it's almost instantaneous. It's a very, very powerful perk, because you always have the ammo that's right for the occasion. Now here we get a shot and we get sadness coming out of the barrels, but it doesn't matter because we did enough. And we managed to help get rid of their destroyer. And that's huge because that was their last destroyer. That puts our team at a massive advantage. If you're in that situation, you got to get out of there. You can't just sit there and let yourself get run up on. Now, obviously, he may not have seen me coming around the island, but he knew the other destroyer was there. They'd already seen each other. So to smoke up and just sit there is a bad play. You need to smoke up and then run. I call them get out of jail free cards, right? Those get out of jail free smokes. If you make a mistake, you drop one of those quick smokes and then you run away, allowing your smoke screen to conceal you, and you put some distance between you and the bad guy. But obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But you're the last line of really eyesight for your team. So now what we want to pay attention to next is the amount of people that are on the other side of this island. Do we just barrel around the corner all willy-nilly? No. We use our brains, folks, and I talk about this a lot. Like, I understand that there's a lot of firepower around this island. I can't put myself in a situation where I'm going to get slapped by them, or at least not all of them. So instead, I beach myself purposely on the edge of the island, and I wait for the Dakir to come to me. There's no reason for me to push over there and get slapped by everybody on that side of the island while I'm shooting the Dakir. He's clearly coming over, so we just wait. There's no reason to push the issue, right? There's no reason for us, so we just hold tight. He'll eventually come around the corner. You can see that goofy looking ship. I know it's Vulcan, but still, I don't like it. But we're going to go ahead and slap him there. And unfortunately, we leave him alive. But, you know, in true Spartan fashion, it's the rules. I don't make them. I just have to live by them. But anyway, he's going to get taken out in a moment, because I thought my team was going to kill him. Clearly, they did not. So we're going to go ahead and finish him off by shooting straight through the bow. But now that we've got the torpedo threat out of the way, I know I got a Siegfried next to me. We're both in a position where we can help one another and be a little bit more aggressive. But do we still just barrel around the corner like a jackass? No, we don't. We play smart, right? Limit who can shoot us. We know there's a cruiser here, so we nose around the corner to where we can shoot our guns, and this jackass is just sitting here full broadside begging for it. So we go ahead and hit him, and guess what? We're going to go ahead and use our reload booster too. Unfortunately, he's going to get that thing in reverse and still be able to avoid getting slapped again, but we're just going to keep DPMing him at this point. That was a terrible shot by me. But Colorado decides he wants to poke his nose around the corner as well, and at this range, I mean, it would be real hard even for a Jean Bart to miss the broadside of a Colorado. So we punish him, getting 7 out of 8 rounds on target. Of course, we don't Citadel him. Very chonky Colorado belt. You can occasionally Citadel him, but it's not going to happen very, very often. But Jervis actually lands torpedoes, finishes off the Colorado, and we're going to go ahead and try to get rid of the Rochester. We aim a little higher this time, want to get some shots in through the superstructure, and we do manage to land more shells on target. leaving him with, of course, just enough for someone else to get the kill. Now, our Siegfried versus their Siegfried, I mean, this is just death for both, right? Like, they're both just charging into one another. They have equal opportunity to kill one another. Unfortunately, our guy kind of whiffs, or their guy was just better at just going, hey, this guy's going to torpedo me, maybe I should slow down and turn away. So I don't hate our Siegfried for that play, but you gotta assume that that's what's going on here, right? Like, you gotta at least assume that the person's going to try to slow down and turn. That's the only way to dodge those torps. But here you can see I do overmatch the Siegfried's backside, so that's where we're aiming. Watch what I do next here. Do I just charge in a straight line at somebody who's obviously got torps and obviously launching torps at me right now? No. Watch what I do. I go out to the left. That's called a feint, right? I feint to the left to try to bait him into shooting out there, and then I duck back in behind his own ship, because if he does torp here, I'm protected by his ship, in theory. But of course, just as I get here, unfortunately, the ship slips beneath the water. Good news is, he fell for the feint. That's the beauty of it. That's why we do that. If you ever see me do that, that's why. I'm trying to bait you into torping where I want you to torp, because that's going to throw your aim off way more. Because so many people follow the white line at all times. They can't think for themselves when it comes to torpedoing things, right? And that's exactly what that guy just did to the guy that he just torpedoed, right? He just did the same thing, where he went and he slowed down and turned out, which allowed him to dodge all the torpedoes of the Siegfried at point blank. For us, we had to do a little bit more than that, right? We had to feint outward, make it look like we're going to turn all the way out, and then we just cut back in nice and sharp. That's why I use steering gears. There's so many things that steering gears can do for a battleship that just make it so nice. You just, for me personally, my playstyle, there's no replacement. Like, propulsion mod, I guess, has its places, but personally, more often than not, steering gears helps me with my playstyle more than propulsion mod ever has. Are there moments where I wish I had propulsion mod? Absolutely. But there are far more moments where I'm glad I got steering gears. But anyway, our cruiser, unfortunately, is going to go down here. The enemy Nebraska gets spotted momentarily, but before I can actually take the shot, he goes dark because our guy that was spotting him goes down. Zeton is still holding down the base. I don't even fault him for it. He's doing his job. He's hanging back. He was fighting that side, and he's defending the cap, right? And that gives us a lot more wiggle room to do what we want to do. Now, given the fact that that cruiser just died in the middle, you can see Veneto is now swinging back around to come into the cap. So do I go into the middle of the map chasing ghosts, or do I try to intercept him? I try to intercept him, right? Now, me being the goober that I am, I probably should have played a little bit closer to the island here and allowed him to come around the corner a little bit more willy-nilly. But I jumped the gun. You get excited. I don't know if y'all get excited. I get excited when I look at a broadside of an Italian battleship at point blank range. I'm excited. It's just like Russian battleships, or certain other battleships that are just known for being yeeted. Like, you give me this shot, I'm taking it 100 times out of 100, right? But unfortunately, I rushed it just a hair, and we don't get the shot that we wanted, and instead we end up getting a decent hit, but not what we were hoping for. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what happens next. As I'm pushing over here, their carrier tries to drop me here. Smart move. But I say their carrier, it's their battle carrier. But their battle carrier is also coming across the map. Now here, he turns into bow tank, so we aim high, we knock out one of his guns, get a little bit of damage into the superstructure, and, do what we got to do. That resets his reload and everything. He is going to hit us with one of these torps. Not that big a deal. But watch where we see this battleship next. Notice he's not being spotted by the Zeton. Zeton is charging after him, but he's not being spotted, which means he's on my broadside. That is not ideal. I think we can all agree. But Veneto and I, we're about to do just some good old-fashioned drive-by action. And yeah, this is where understanding what you're doing comes in real handy. And there's the shot we were looking for earlier, as we absolutely send that Italian turd blossom to the shadow realm. I hate the Italian battleships, except for the top tier two, the Lepanto and the Colombo. I could not care less about Italian battleships. But anyway, we angle away here because we knew that they were going to get another shot at us, right? We didn't want to give ourselves up to take another big hit. I was begging the destroyer to go out the back of the cap right now. I was like, there's so much damage left to be had, y'all. Please, please get out of the cap. But unfortunately, he does not. He's like, I want a cap. Fair enough. At the end of the day, it guarantees the win. I don't hate him for it. It's just me being greedy. But we get top of leaderboard, 2,584 base XP, 3 kills. Showcasing a pretty good example of not overplaying your hand, being smart, understanding what's around you, and keeping your head on a swivel. So let me know if you guys enjoyed, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.